got something to complain about.
Ooh.
Well, it's a complaint section. It's also a or a hopeful section
Is it?
in some regards.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. The thing that I've finished is paying for streaming services.
Ooh.
Specifically audio streaming. We're talking a Spotify. We're talking an Apple Music. I guess we're also talking a Pandora, or that one that Jay-Z owns.
Now, of course,
You know?
you can't cancel Disney Plus because you're watching New Daredevil on there.
I'm currently watching New Daredevil. However, I could just go to my friend with an eye patch to get that for me. That's an option. And that's kind of what I'll be talking about today. To a degree. So basically, I recently was going through the things that I pay for. I was doing a classic Caleb Hammer, maybe. As a callback to a previous episode where we talked about the YouTube financial advice giver. There's got to be a better word for that. Caleb Hammer. And I was looking through and I was like, damn, I really am paying money every month to these services that I don't know how much I'm actually getting what I want from, you know, where they're hiking the price up each month, and I'm just like, well, all my stuff's on there. I guess I have to use it. So I figured now's probably a better time than any time in the future, because the prices aren't going down. You know, I don't think Apple Music is going to be like, you know what, we've earned enough money. Well, let's actually give a big discount to everyone. They're not gonna, you know, lower their prices anytime. Neither Spotify. So, I've decided to start having all of my music locally on my device. I'm running it all from my phone. This is kind of an extension of when I was using the Nokia N95. I had a lot of local music on that because that obviously couldn't run a streaming app. So yeah, I've moved over a bunch of music from that. I've also gone and downloaded some music that I listen to. And what I've done to start off with is I've actually gone and through all of the records that I own.
Oh, yeah. They're just here.
And they're just there with you. And because that's a lot of the music that I have specifically wanted to, you know, I care for that music enough to go buy a vinyl for it, that I figured that's a great basis to start off with. I'm going to download that music, and a lot of those records actually come with a digital download code. And I am a believer in the fact that if you own a piece of media, if you've paid for a piece of media, you should own it. You should be able to do what you want with it. So for those, I've acquired the digital versions and I've got them on my phone. So this is going to be an interesting experience, and I wonder how long it'll last.
This is interesting. So have you've cancelled the subscriptions to the old?
I've cancelled Spotify
and Apple Music and
Apple
Did
Music.
you have YouTube
as well.
Music going?
No, I had YouTube Premium for a bit, for a while, and I'm a proponent of the YouTube Premium is worth it, but because that you're paying. Well, I guess with Spotify you're also paying not to have ads, but there's a difference.
What's the difference?
I don't know what that difference is. I feel like there's a difference.
Okay.
I think with music, there's definitely the thing of the streaming services just straight up don't pay the artists.
No money goes to artists.
Properly. YouTube, I think there's, you know, because it is a new medium, there's kind of a standard set for that and an understanding between
YouTube is 55%
creators.
to creators.
Okay, there
I
you
don't
go.
know
See,
how Shorts works, but
yeah. See, that's a lot better than like a tenth of a nickel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how much a nickel is.
Not much, presumably.
So, yeah, that's I'm mainly focusing on music streaming here. Yeah, it's meant that my music selection is very much pared back, but it
Mhm.
also has meant that I'm a lot more intentional with my music choices.
Yeah.
Of
How
what I
so?
listen to. Well, already often when I listen to music, I listen to albums. I
Mhm.
don't really make playlists or just pick songs.
Mhm.
I like to listen to a whole album. But it also means when when I want to listen to new things, I
Mm.
have to
Mm.
actually seek it out, acquire it,
Mm.
and then I will have the whole album, and it means that I listen to a lot more of something new. So if someone recommends
Yeah.
a couple of songs from the album, I'll get the whole album
Yep.
and I'll be able to experience that in full,
Mm.
instead of just searching it up, playing it, texting the person back, being like, yeah, it's pretty good, actually,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, great. So when new music comes out, like Chapel Roan released
Mhm.
a single a couple of days ago.
Yep.
I guess, if you want to listen to it, like, will you go and find everything, or will you listen to some of them, like, on YouTube first to see if, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what's your
I'll
metric?
find the whole album. So
Hello, Goose. There's a
oh, hi,
podcast cat here,
Goose.
everybody.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what a little
She
cutie.
can't hear you, but she can see you.
What's she been listening to lately? Have you been playing any music for her like you promised?
No.
You
Just
promised every night
I've
you'd
been
play her a
playing
lullaby.
Sound of Screaming Children and Tortured Babies for her. Yeah.
That's not music.
What's music to her is.
Oh, well,
Hello?
I better come back, I guess. I need to save her from you.
I don't know. I think you might find that she doesn't want it to stop.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Maybe she's getting all of her angstiness out through that.
Yeah. It's
And-
a way of expressing. You should have seen
she
her
be-
behavior before we were playing her Screaming Children and Tortured Babies. Violent.
Anyways,
Do go on.
what was I saying? I was saying that
I was asking about new music and what your process is going to be.
So for Chapel Roan's new single, I haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
Because I know that the album's coming out soon, so I figure I'm just gonna get the whole album when that
Right.
releases.
Yeah. Okay.
I would definitely get just a single, but there's so much music right now that I'm other music that I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much music do you have? Like, how big is your library?
Pretty small right now.
Mhm.
So like I said, I'm mainly focused on the ones that I have physically as vinyls. I actually don't have all of those. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like around 20 or so albums.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not tiny. Yeah.
No.
And
And
are
they range
I mean, I guess
they
I
range
can.
from pop to R&B
That's what I was
to
gonna ask.
there's actually a musical in here.
Which one?
To some soulful stuff. Hades Town.
Oh,
'cause
very
I went and
good.
saw that
I
recently.
can't believe you didn't get the South Pacific musical soundtrack.
I did. I
'Cause that
haven't
is something you
downloaded
own
the
on
South
vinyl.
Pacific. Yeah, that'll be in my next round when I have some time to sit down and download some more stuff. Yeah. So, I definitely am feeling limitations on it at some points. You know, there are times when I'm like, oh damn, I think of a song that I used to be able to listen to whenever I want. For example, there's a new movie that's come out with Jack Quaid. Is that the guy from The Boys?
Novocaine.
Novocaine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep seeing posters for that,
Mhm.
and I instantly think of the Frank Ocean song Novocaine.
Mhm.
Gets stuck in my head. I'm like, great, I want to play that. I want to listen to it. I go to my app, which I'm using this iPhone app called Doppler, and it's
Mhm.
basically a local music library app where you can just load songs straight in from your files.
Right.
And you can also edit all of the metadata, so I can change, I can add the artwork if the artwork isn't there,
Right.
or
Cool.
change the title, the release year, all of that stuff.
Mhm.
yeah, I've really wanted to listen to Novocaine, but I just don't have it. So I know, but what it also means is I can note stuff down for later and be like, I should download this. I guess what I'm saying ultimately is I'm just doing what people did in like 2008.
Yeah. But it's different because not everyone around you is doing it. I don't know. Are you going to see more live music? Is that part of your, like, is that something that's going to be part of the mix?
Possibly. I went and saw a live show of some indie artisan bands the other week here in Bushwick, and that was good. But don't think I'm gonna do that more or less than I would have anyway.
Yeah.
This
Cool.
is more of just, I don't know, a product of putting restrictions on parts of my lives. I don't know if it's, when you think about it philosophically, whether it's a good or a bad, innately a good or a bad thing. But I'm just like, everything, you can have everything you want at the tip of your finger, you know, now. So I'm like, what if I just didn't have that for a bit?
Is this coming
Maybe
from,
it's a stupid, pretentious thing.
Is this coming from a similar place to I'm not playing any more video games ever? By which I mean you removing things from your, like, not feeling obligated to finish things just because they're there and you've started them?
No, I think this is a completely separate thing.
Separate. Because this sounds like an interesting combo of, like, money saving, like, corporate morality, and then this thing that I don't quite yet understand that you've just said about, like, restriction, or... Is that a fair summary of the things that are going into it?
Sure.
Anything?
Yeah. I think with this restriction, it just means that it comes back to being more thoughtful and more intentional.
Yeah.
With my choices, I think that's a nice benefit. But when it comes down to it, if Spotify or Apple Music are actually good, good products, then I would have probably kept using them. And I think that from what I've seen, I'm not the only person who's started doing this. There's been a massive uptick in people who are going back to CDs and Blu-rays. More CDs than Blu-rays, actually, because Blu-rays physically deteriorate quicker
than DVDs.
DVDs. And also CD quality. Here's another thing. CD quality and the audio format in which I've been downloading my music it's lossless. It doesn't have any sort of compression. You don't lose anything when you're downloading, because on Spotify you have options for your streaming quality, and I think by default it's set at medium, but you can bump that up to high. And with Apple Music you can choose lossless, but to choose lossless you have to have like the music already downloaded, or you have to have wired headphones. Like there are some restrictions. So it'll label things as lossless, but you won't actually be hearing that unless you do the right things. And I've already noticed with the music that I'm listening to, these are songs that I've listened to hundreds of times, if not thousands, and I can hear a difference. Like it feels like the quality is higher. I also don't have to have my headphones as loud. Like they are quite a few notches down. I'm often listening at 40 or 50% instead of like the 70 or 80 that I normally would.
Interesting.
It just sounds a lot deeper. Like there's a lot more depth to it. So that's
it just sounds a lot deeper when you're in my cave, you know. It just the audio quality is better.
Sounds a lot deeper.
Not in the back cave. Shit audio in the back cave. It's all that screeching. It's just like, you want to come on down? I know maybe you haven't heard of me, but just come on down, I reckon, to my cave.
We have some noise cancelling pads in the deep cave, so it sounds a little better. We're not big and echoey like the Bat Cave, That's one thing. They say the Bat Cave, it's so good because it's so vast. You can hold so many things, like a dinosaur or a giant coin. But in the deep cave, it's nice and small and tight and cozy. We don't turn on the overhead lights. It's small lights only, and we do make sure that the noise is insulated so that it feels you don't have your echoey voice going on, because you don't want that when you're talking deep talk.
I mean, we got
has
fidgets,
my voice's deep man changed?
We got squeezy
Maybe.
balls. Yeah, we got all your sensory needs covered. down in the deep cave.
What?
We got all your
Squeezing your balls in the deep cave.
Yeah. Ah.
Anyways, no, I've noticed that this is kind of a trend. The people are going back to physical media or owning their media because things get taken off streaming services all the time. You see it a lot in like video streaming for shows and movies. Whether it just changes what platform it's on, or whatever studio owns the rights for it says, actually, we're just going to take this off because it's not making us as much money licensing it out as we thought. So own your own stuff. That's one of the biggest factors for me here, is making sure that I actually have access to the things that I like and am able to use them when I want to use them.
I love that the Trump administration is so chaotic that it's turning like center-left normies into like doom preppers. It seems like catastrophe could strike at any moment, that those of us who were previously like, what do you mean? Like apocalypse, like calm down. And now like, well, I should probably make sure I have beans and vinyl because we could be here a while.
Yeah. One thing that I do think is great about not going through streaming services, and like I've said so far that a lot of this stuff I'm getting is stuff that I already own, but people do pirate music, and there was a big dip in that when streaming services kicked off, and that was directly because of piracy. You saw people weren't downloading like buying albums on iTunes as much, or going and buying CDs because you could just pirate it, and those things were getting really expensive because it's kind of like they have a monopoly on it. Whoever's selling that stuff, like Apple with iTunes, had a monopoly on digitally purchasing music. And you see it with video as well through cable, where you had to pay an exorbitant cable subscription to be able to
iTunes was crazy for a while there. It was like $5 for a single song, and we're talking like $2005. So that's like $10.
So people started pirating, and so the industry snapped back by starting streaming. And Spotify was one of the first to jump on that, or at least one of the biggest. And they had the business model that everyone now copies, which is sell the impossible at an incredibly low price to become the biggest in the market. And then once you're the biggest in the market and all of your competition dies away, then up the price. And that's what we've seen. We've seen that with music. We've seen that with TV and movies. And
Uber.
Now, Uber, exactly. So, but now we're getting to the point where it's becoming unaffordable again. They have that monopoly that they're extorting money out of people through. And so there is this, that's another factor as to why we're getting this kind of pushback from people, and people are going back to things like piracy or purchasing physical media.
I hate that the like end point of this cycle every time is like, and the artists get paid nothing. Well, I guess maybe not this last resistance phase, but the end of the capitalist monopoly beast is like, well, we own everything and you are free to not participate, but you will have no audience and no money. Whereas right now you have audience and no money. Like,
well, I think the backlash comes in two ways. It has people, acquiring their media without paying the artist or paying anyone, or they go directly to the artist, because the artist, if they are not beholden to the platform, if they have the opportunity to distribute their content themselves, then they're able to undercut the distribution, which we now kind of have with the internet, because everything is accessible from no matter where you are. Like, if they only get 35% of the profits from an album sale, then they can just sell the album themselves on their own website
Yeah.
for that 35% directly
Yeah.
and just, undercut what it would be otherwise. So I also think that people are more willing to pay for things when they know that the money is going to the
100%.
thing that they enjoy
100%.
rather than a company that provides the only value they provide is
Ease.
advertising,
It's all there. Yeah.
essentially. Yeah, providing that ease of accessibility. Yeah.
So would you recommend this in all seriousness? Would you suggest this?
Yeah, why not?
Follow-up question. For those who are
Become a
maybe
monk for a
unwilling to
while.
make this step, what is the lesser version of this or the thing with the similar intent or outcome that people could do? If they're like, I need Spotify for whatever reason, are you going to say go to more shows? Are you going to say still buy stuff? Are you going to say buy some merch? What?
Well, here's the thing. Even shows are a big issue because Ticketmaster owns most of the venues, and so they have a monopoly now on the show side of things. So sometimes and often in contracts earn a large percentage of the merch sales as well. So artists are getting, when we're talking about music artists, they are getting less and less of even that profit, which, for a while became, after they weren't artists were able to weren't able to earn as much money from album sales, it became touring, and now it's not even touring. So it has to be like brand deals and things like that. So great, you can't profit off your own work. You can only profit by
being a platform,
advertising someone else's. Being a platform,
being a value add.
So I think that if you want to do something like this, it is like buy music. Like if you don't, here's the thing, right? When we look at piracy compared to streaming, your streaming money, your $15, $20 a month, whatever it is that's going to Spotify, 99.99999% of that is going to Spotify and not any of the artists that you individually enjoy. So you might as well not give it and instead pirate a few things and then buy an album here or there, digitally here and there. Because that will overall be putting more money in the pockets of the artists that you like, even
and you
if
spend
it's less
less
frequently, and you spend less. Yeah.
I like your analysis.
Yeah, if you're spending $20 a month on Spotify, that's maybe, let's say conservatively, that's like 2 albums. If you bought 2 albums digitally, buy 2 albums a month digitally, and anything else you want to listen to, pirate it. You'll be putting way more money into the music industry and in the pockets of the actual people creating the music than stupid platforms that are just trying to suck as much money as they can from you and the artists. Yeah, there you go. I just thought about that on the fly. I just came up with that solution on the fly.
Fresh.
I think it's pretty solid.
That's fresh. So exciting. Goose has come back again.
That's so fresh. Buy 2 So Fresh albums.
Is that the name of an album?
So Fresh. They're the ones that you'd get that are like a compilation of the hottest hits from that summer. There's like a So Fresh Summer, So Fresh Winter, So Fresh 2012, I think was the one that I had.
There you
Summer
go.
2012. I had whatever one had Hot Shell Ray's song on it. I know they had more than one song, but they had a song. It also had an Adele song, so you can use those
Which
to
one?
pinpoint.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
can't remember. I don't know. That's what I finished.
Excelente, as they say in the biz.
Reuben, what's our next section? I swear to God, if you say cats in the bag, here's every cat that's dragged a bag into the house.
Cats in the Cradle and the Silver
mice.
Spoon, everyone. That song about fatherhood. Our next section
cat's been listening to dead babies or whatever you said.
Yeah. Yeah, screaming children and tortured babies. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Next section is foreign film correspondent, but the word correspondent starts with an F so that we can call it triple F.
So, shall we give our foreign film correspondent a ring?
Let's do it. And in case he cannot answer at this moment, I will find his latest Letterboxd review as our backup for this section. Because sometimes Prem appears in person instantly, sometimes doesn't answer. He's just unpredictable like that.
So, Prem this week, I know, or today, sorry, it's currently St. Patrick's Day here. So he's out in Philadelphia, getting drunk.
Philadelphia, the state, or is that a suburb?
Yeah, the state. Hey, Prem.
Hey, what's up?
We're doing foreign film correspondent. What have you watched recently?
Sorry, well, it's St. Paddy's Day. I'm at the pub. I'm drinking green beer.
Ooh.
Oh, man, I just talked about Kneecap. God damn it.
Yeah, that would have been perfect for this, actually.
What?
That would have been perfect for this. Irish?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to think about the Irish films I've seen recently, but there's none. I still haven't seen The Banshees of Inisherin.
Have you watched Train Spotting 2 or 1? Is that Irish?
I've seen both of those. No, they're both Scottish.
Oh.
I've seen both. They're really good. I've been meaning to read the book. Okay, what have I watched recently? I've been watching Dairy Girls recently, actually.
Yo!
I think
there's an Irish thing.
Yeah, you talked about that. You gave us a big rundown last week.
I got real Irish the other day. I guess I was excited about St. Paddy's Day. What? I haven't seen anything recently. Did you guys talk about Opus?
No, we didn't talk about Opus.
Okay, so Opus sucked. Ayo, I love you, but that movie sucked.
Yeah, bad film.
That's about it. I'm reading Mickey 7 right now, like I said, but I've actually read half of it now. And that book sucks ass. And it's making Mickey 17 way more. Because it's just a terrible book.
Why is it bad?
Every time I read sci-fi and action and adventure shit like that, it really just makes me feel like I'm reading young adult.
Okay.
You shouldn't be entertained by this book. This book should be below everyone, you know?
Wow. Even if you are a young adult?
Well, it's not a young adult book. It's the issue. It's marketed as a real book for real people, and it is not.
All right, good to know. I'll skip out on that one then.
I might actually up my approval of Mickey 17 a little bit, just because of it's like if that book was at all good.
Okay.
But anyway, that's about it. I'm drinking some green beer right now. I'm eating a Philly cheesesteak, so I gotta go focus on that. I gotta hang up. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Enjoy.
Have fun on the pod.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Jett, I don't think Prim understands the nature of the foreign film correspondent section, because we just got a foreign TV correspondent and a foreign book correspondent. Is my issue there?
We should fire him, is what we say. If we're having the listeners vote someone off, we should both team up and put together a campaign to fire Prim.
Absolutely, and the listeners can have my credit card details.
You'll pay for the campaign.
I'll pay for the removal of Prim, but I has to be anonymous. I'll do it through a super PAC so that he doesn't know it's me. I want to still be friends. I just never want to work with him again. Doesn't understand the fucking word film. Jesus.
What's our next section?
Our next section is called Up and Up.
Now, what's coming up? What have you following up on or coming up on? Because I have something that's coming up. I teased it last week. I'm just immediately going to jump in here because I know that you have a big thing that you want to follow up on. Even though I just asked you the question. Next week we'll be talking about Hadestown, which I've seen on Broadway very recently. I know I teased that last week, though I might be talking about it this week. We've got a guest coming on to also talk about it. So that's coming up next week. If you're a fan of Hadestown, listen to next week's episode. If you're not a fan of Hadestown, go see it if you're in Sydney or if you're in New York, or it's probably on somewhere else, maybe the West End, or you can just listen to the album. Go download pay for the Broadway cast recording. Spend half of your Spotify budget on Hadestown, and then spend the other half on the original studio recording.
Where'd you go? Oh no.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Where'd you go?
I'm here.
You here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You completely froze and cut out mid-rant. You said, spend half of your Spotify... Like that.
Okay, well, I said it and it's recorded on my end. So.
Great. We'll just silence me for that bit then, because I was like, oh, what? Where are you there? Oh no, it's happened again.
Oh no. Your internet is freaking out. Is your internet fine? Are you back? Hello? You lost connection.